me today we've got the amazing Erika Williams from Office Overload Solutions. Erika, welcome.
Thank you.
So the reason why you need to be watching this interview is because if you're a business owner and if you obviously have expenses, which we all business owners do, there's a way that you're monitoring and working out what goes into your software, accounting software, and there's ways and means of actually doing that and automating the whole thing, and really Erika is here to educate you on what you need to be doing and doing right, so that way you save your time, you save money, and you actually there's under 5 minutes you could be actually organizing the whole thing.
Yep.
Yeah. So what do you call that? There's a statement that you said earlier.
Well, you do zero while you're making coffee for 5 minutes.
There you go. If you'd like that, you've got to be watching this interview. So Erika, I'm going to officially welcome you again.
Thank you.
So the reason why we felt we need to be interviewing you is because there's so many businesses that do need help. And education is a big process of it. And you've been doing that. You've worked with larger organizations in educating and with Xero as well. So I think you are a bit of a Xero queen, but at the same time you know how to use all the other softwares, and you help people trying to work out what software they actually need to then work what business, what's going to work for them best.
Yes.
So tell us about that. I mean, why are people choosing different softwares? Is it because they've inherited it, or is the accountants suggested it, or they've just sort of gone their own research and started using that software?
Well, in most of the cases today, it is because the accountant or the bookkeeper recommended it.
Yeah.
But I think it's getting to a stage where a lot of more businesses are doing their research, and they're hearing about Xero and how good Xero is from their peers or from other business owners.
Yeah.
So basically I started with Xero in New Zealand in 2008, and I was actually doing MYOB and discovered Xero, and it changed my whole focus because I knew that it was going to change the way we do business into the future. And of course, when I started working for Xero here, my job was to educate accountants and bookkeepers on how to take their business into the cloud. And so when I left Xero and started my own consulting business, I wanted to take that same education to small business.
Yeah.
Because being in the accounting industry for as long as I have been, I've seen so many businesses fail because they didn't have the right technology or the right reporting mechanism to tell them how healthy or unhealthy their business is. And that's what my drive is to make sure that those businesses have their facts and figures at their fingertips.
Yeah.
And it's so much easier now. Most businesses, with less than an hour's worth of training, you can actually use Xero in your day-to-day business. That's pretty much what I'm out to try and achieve for other businesses, is just that simple education that you don't have to fear it, and that it takes just over an hour and you can do the basics. And if you don't want to do anything more than that, then that's fine. You can basically outsource it to somebody else, but it's just that basics of getting it there and having that software that can give you the information when you need it.
Yeah. So look at it from a point of view that a lot of businesses already have something in place. Whether it's the right thing for them or not, who knows right this minute, right? But so you've got mum and dad runs businesses, you've got solo businesses and they're just operating it themselves. They probably have a bookkeeper, or maybe have an admin staff, or their wife handling the bookkeeping, and they come in once a week or whatever to do it. So walk us through the system of what should the business owner know from this point of time. So they've got Xero, or they might have Myo and whatnot. So what should they be doing from here on, as far as how complicated is it?
Well, when they've got Xero or QuickBooks or MYOB desktop, cloud-based, they're already one step in the right direction. Perfect. So that will give them that basic foundation. And the way that cloud is structured these days is that you can add different software or different functions to your cloud software that will basically perform different functions within your business.
Yeah.
And that's what the education process would be, is that before you reach for that manual invoice book, or reach for the Word document to do the quote, or reach for the Excel spreadsheet to work out different things, rather than doing it manually, research what works with zero to perform that particular function. And that's pretty much what the education process is that I'm involved in, is saying that once you've got zero, zero basically opens up a whole new different scope for you and your business, that you can now start specifically for the task, and it doesn't matter what industry you're in, because Xero has over 700 apps that actually integrate with Xero. So if you're a plumber, a lawyer, it doesn't matter what industry you're in, there is a specific software that will basically integrate with Xero, and that is the beauty of Xero, is that integration process. You don't want to be able to transfer data from one software to the other. And Xero will automatically take the software. So no matter which software add-on you're working in, the information will end up in Xero as your financial software. And you can just keep on going. And that's what I try and help business owners figure out, is how you work, what functions you need, what industry you're in, and what tools you need. And then we basically help you implement those tools and train you on how to use them properly.
Wow, that's a fair bit there. So you've got your Myo, QuickBook, and it's Xero, the accounting softwares, and you got the receipt bank, which is more of a software that gets your receipts into the software. And now you've got Xero that actually monitors various sides of your business, whether it's your emails or invoices, and talks to each other. So how easy is it to change from one software to Xero, or would you ever suggest from one back to the other? Or
well, going from a desktop to a cloud solution is easy, because all the major, like Xero, QuickBooks, offer a free transfer service as part of what they offer. So basically what they will do is, if you're on a desktop MYOB, they'll copy the entire file over for your financial year onto Xero, and they'll create that file. And then normally the bookkeeper or accountant, whoever is helping you in the setup process, they will then customize it according to what your business is. So it's very easy to transition over to that. And with the other software that you add onto it, that will mean whoever is your advisor will know how that works, and obviously they need to discuss it with you to see what the best solution is for your business, and then they will then be able to advise which is biggest. So it is a whole education process. It is a needs analysis type of environment where we have to know exactly how you work, what you work, and what outcomes you need before we actually choose the software. And most of the software nowadays it's almost like plug and play. You know, you literally sign up for it, and you just need an email address and a password, and off you go. And there is always, depending on the industry and how involved your process is, there is a bit of customization required, but very little. Not as much as what you need on a desktop type of solution where you have to configure a lot of stuff. The cloud software is literally plug and play these days. It's so easy.
So that's where you come in, really, isn't it? So you're not necessarily telling them to change or anything like that just this minute, but you want to really analyze what they're doing and help them through the process of just education. And then you can basically teach them what needs to be done, and then they would probably never need to get you back again unless they had another question for you. Is that what it is?
So a lot of how I approach it is that literally, if they just want to consult with me, just find out what they need. And if they're tech savvy enough, or if they've got enough expertise in the business, and we determine exactly what they need, because obviously I've worked in the industry for over 10 years now with Xero and all of the Xero ecosystem. If all they need from me is just to tell them what they need, they can go away and then go and sign up and implement it themselves. And if they run into trouble, we're happy to sort of help them and consult and sort of problem solve with them, and obviously train them on how to use it properly as well. Because that is part of some of the things that have happened as well. A lot of small businesses, they go and sign up for Xero on their own, and then they freak out, and because they don't know how to progress. And that's obviously when they approach a bookkeeper or an accountant and say, can you help me figure it out? And from experience, we've actually found that a lot of them have made a huge boo-boo of it, and made a big mess of it, and then we have to fix it up. So,
but you don't have a problem going and fixing it for them?
No. But the thing is, with desktop software, it's easy to fix up mistakes.
Yeah.
With cloud, it's not that easy. There are tools that you can use to fix it up. So since I've actually worked in the cloud space, I've always said to business owners, if in doubt, don't do it. Rather get somebody else to do it, because the cost of fixing it up is sometimes outweighs the money that they're going to save in doing it themselves.
Yeah.
So that's the other side of the coin as well.
So a lot of business owners are doing it manually these days. I mean, they're inputting everything onto whichever software they use. So what the example that you used earlier was, you're going to get them from a manual car into not just automatic but Tesla.
Yes.
And which is all automated.
Mm-hmm.
Now, tell us the importance of actually going from manual to the cloud and automating the whole thing, the savings of various sorts.
Yeah, because as I explained to you earlier, there is 7 functions in a business that that a business owner or their staff do every single day. And some of those are so finance and bookkeeping and HR and the production and the marketing and all of that. And only 2 of those are actually revenue generating. And so, as I've already said, is that those other 5 items is a cost to the business. And the more time the business owner or their staff work on doing that, the more money they're actually losing in not automating. And so that's the part where the business owner needs to choose. If they want to continue doing it the same way they've always done it, it's going to cost them. And here is the actual sad part about it, is that their competitors are automating.
Their competitors are already doing it.
And the competitors are already doing it. So what's going to happen with them is that they're going to basically price themselves out of the market because they can't compete. Because their competitor, with the technology that they're using, they don't have the cost of all of those 5 manual functions, of having to produce a manual proposal or do manual spreadsheets. They already passed that. So as long as the business owners stay on that manual bandwagon, they're going to basically slip further and further, and that they eventually get to a stage where they'll not be able to compete with their competitors. So that's the thing. So I basically use that manual thing. So as I said to you, most people like manual cars, men specifically, because they want to drive a car. But in a business context, having a manual business means that you can never leave your business. You can never go on holiday, you can never get sick, because that manual car has to be driven all the time. So when you come to an automated business that is partially automated, you can take more time off. And we're all so time-starved that we constantly saying, I need more time and I need more time and I want to spend time with my family, I want to go time on holiday. So this is the essence of what you can do, is if you automate a lot of those 5 functions, your business will be on auto. But I actually say we want to take it further. We want to take it to a Tesla. Whereas if you're in the traffic on an auto car, you just still need to tap the brake. When you're on a Tesla, the Tesla will basically auto drive for you. Autopilot. That's it. And so this is basically what part of the messaging that we're doing. We'll take your business from 0 to autopilot. So that basically functions even if you're not in the office. That's what we want to try and achieve for the people that I work with.
So there's 2 questions about the automation. So say Johnny is doing the bookkeeping and some admin in the office, and automating it, does that mean that he or she, or so Johnny, is out of work and basically become redundant from there on?
Well, if the process that Johnny was doing was very manual in nature, obviously them automating is going to take the half the time that Johnny was spending in doing that particular function. And what I've experienced in my business as well, and a lot of the businesses that we have been working with, is that they've just deployed Johnny in a different role. So basically by implementing new technology, we've upskilled Johnny in the first place. We've basically, he's spending less time on unchargeable work, and then the business can actually deploy him in different areas where he can maybe get involved in chargeable work. And but with bringing technology, there are always casualties. But it is inevitable, you know, and I find that specifically in my industry, there's a lot of companies that are outsourcing to other countries where the labour is a lot cheaper, and so that is the reality of doing business in this type of digital age, is that there is going to be the instances where the Australian labour cannot compete with labour overseas.
Yeah. Now, valid point there. So we're changing Johnny from rather than being redundant and being a cost to the business, we're going to make him more of an income-producing asset to the business from there on.
Yeah.
What about the mum and dad run businesses where the wife is going in once an hour a day or 2 hours a day to do all the bookkeeping? We also know that she has to go to run by 1:30, leave the home or the office because she's got to go pick up the kids and then go home and cook and whatnot. So that's going to make things much easier for them because you're actually getting them in a bit of an automation stage.
Absolutely, because you could basically cut out that whole thing. Because as I said, in my own business, I do all of my own bookkeeping.
Yeah.
And I literally switch the kettle on in the morning when I'm making my cup of coffee, and by the time my tea bag comes out, or my coffee goes in, my bookkeeping is all done. You know, and that's one of the things that we actually try and educate our business owners, especially sole traders, because a sole trader has all of 7 of those functions that they've had to do themselves. They don't have the staff to help them. So what we say is we will basically give you artificial staff that can do the same job and basically delegate some of the tasks that you would normally have to do yourself. We will basically get you to delegate tasks to artificial intelligence that will and you'll have more time on your hands.
Wonderful. Erika, I think this is a very informative
Thank you.
If you're watching this, please do put your details below, and Erika will be in touch with some information, and you can actually get Erika in to consult for an hour, for example, or just have a conversation to see how she can help you in your business. But Erika, thank you for your time. I think it's something that we probably have to get you back in again for more education for the business community. So I look forward to that again.
Thanks very much for having me.
And please do continue watching Nifnex TV.